Hi guys, it's me again, Baptism. So today in the next series of our Dauntless deck profile, in the second episode, we will be talking about Dauntless and the Great. So this is the number 2 variants. So in the last video, I talked about Dauntless and the Turnabout, and today we're gonna talk about Dauntless and the Great. It's a different combinations with a different winning image, different ways to reach victory, and we will see how this deck have its own winning image. Okay, so first with the Great Zero again, of course you have your starting Vanguard, and this is the one of the most interesting part about this deck is the trigger lines up, which is 16 criticals. So you use all crits and no other triggers. With this deck that consists of 16 crits, you aim to finish the game as fast as possible, or during your kill turn you might want to just one-shot your opponent from anywhere from no matter how many damage they have, whether it's 1-2 damage, that it doesn't really matter, you can just one-shoot them. That's the idea between this 16 crits, and we will see then the great ones. That's for the Great Zero. So it's plain and simple 16 crits, and you have 3 Calamity Tower Wyvern to boost the power of your Vanguard. You also have this 4, I keep forgetting the name of the new cards, I'm sorry, but and then you got like 4 Lava Flow, and then 3 hit shot. Alright, so basically the idea between this deck is, the idea in this deck is just to pump your Vanguard as big as possible, and with that 16 crits earlier, hoping to kill off your opponents. Because if you compare it to the turnabout list, the turnabout, when you write the turnabout on top of Dauntless and you got like those 7 attacks off, your Vanguard will actually be big because Overlord can just Soul Blast 1 and plus 10k to itself. But Neo Flame needs triggers first, so we will just concentrate on the quality of your Vanguard attacks, which is 3 attacks. And Neo Flame also pumps the power of the Great and can also give criticals, and we're gonna get into that more later. But the idea is that your Vanguard will attack 3 times with decent power, and you can give him crits, so you might as well make your Vanguard power as big as possible. That's why in the Calamity Tower Wyvern and also the hit shot. So that's the idea. And of course the other great one is just for like searching great trees. And onto the Great 2, and in the Great 2 we have 3 Neo Flame, and then of course for the draw power you use 3 Turret Cannon. And then for the new one, this is also for a draw power. Yeah, basically it's just for draw power. Maybe you want to dig out your Neo Flame as early as possible. The reason why I don't use like for Neo Flame is because sometimes just Neo Flame is just like a kind of vanilla, you know, doesn't have really any effect besides boosting the Great, so doesn't really have any much use early game, except for you to dump them for intercepts or for guards. That's why I only use 3. And again, this is not your main winning ways. I mean like if you don't pull off the Great on top of Dauntless, you can still win per usual, because like I said so many times in my previous video that the best thing to put on top of Dauntless is Dauntless itself. So as long as you have 2 Dauntless, everything will be fine. It's just like what are the components that will lead you to have a backup plan in the Dauntless deck, because as you play Dauntless, you want to have that backup plan that can kill off your opponent for sure, because sometimes when you write Dauntless out of Dauntless, even that couldn't finish off your opponent and you want to have something else next turn, you always want to have something to write over Dauntless, so it's better to have a backup plan. And now we get to our Great 3, which is for Dauntless, of course. 3 the Great, because why not 4? Because too much the Great is not great at all. I mean, it's basically you don't want to ride him first. If you force to ride him first, you will hope to high roll with the 16 crits and with Neo Flame, maybe hoping your opponent didn't have a perfect guard in his or her hands, and maybe if you go first, you can kill off your opponent very fast with the Counter Blast 2 of Neo Flame and give your the great plus crit power. I'm talking about the worst scenario here, which you ride him first and you hope to high roll with the multi crits, and then the backup plan is to Dragonic Waterfalls. Dragon Waterfall in this deck is really good. You can ride it on top of your Dauntless or on top of your the Great. Doesn't really matter. Basically, if you fail to finish off your opponent during the Great turns, you actually have a decent number of attacks. You have like 6 attack with Neo Flame and the Greats. If you ride the Great on top of Dauntless, it's just one short of the turnabout, which has 7 attacks. This one has 6 attacks, but the Vanguard is potentially much bigger, especially if you put all the force on Vanguard, because when you play in the turnabout, usually you put like 1 force on the rear guard for your rear guard overload, but in this deck, you don't necessarily need to put a force on Neo Flame, because you can just pump Neo Flame with the trigger you got, or when you draft check to normal units with Dauntless skill, you can pump Neo Flame that way too, so you don't really need to put a force on Neo Flame. I usually just put all the force in the Vanguard. This is really a Vanguard centric deck, even though usually people think that the Great is more rear guard centric deck because you bring Neo Flame to do a multiple attack, but really it's a Vanguard centric deck because even without Neo Flame he can withstand on its own as long as it has Great 3 in its own. And with Dauntless, the one that we're looking for is just the 3 Vanguard attack and that's all. But if you got a Neo Flame, that will be a major bonus, because you got like that extra 5k per Neo Flame, and also the chance to boost a crit which can kill your opponent instantly if they didn't expect it. If they don't have any PG, or if they only have 1 PG, you can kill them off because your Vanguard attacks 3 times. You can use the Neo Flame skills the first time, so you force them to use the perfect guard early, and then when you check crits, because you play 16 criticals, so at least if you check 1 crit and you give all 2 Vanguards, all 3 of your Vanguard attack will have 16 criticals. And in case of playing against a Protect deck, which usually has large hands and a huge number of PG in their hand, you want to give a force to Neo Flame, maybe to force them to guard more, but if you're not confident that it will be enough to break through their defense, this is what the Waterfall is for. This is your backup plan. Okay, so this is the number 2 deck list. The next deck list I think will be Blade Master Sowen, and we will see how Sowen will be fair compared to the other 2 that we've been talking, the turnabout before this and the Great this time, the Great featuring Waterfall this time. And yeah, you're welcome to try it, and you're welcome to give me comments where you think this is more better than the last turnabout, or is the turnabout is better than this. You can give comments if you have tried it, and if you have the other list that you want to talk about, you can also shoot it up in the comments, and I'll try to give a look at it later. And thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.